I specifically asked the Madam Chair if I could do this proclamation about a month ago, because I knew all the commissioners would want to do it. So that being said, it's fair to say that we're all the commission is part of this proclamation, and it's a real honor for me to just be able to read it to all of you that's here. I'll try to do my best here. Whereas Hurricane Michael, a major Category 4 hurricane, was bearing down on Florida in October of 2018 and posed a threat to the state of Florida and Manatee County. Whereas it became evident that Manatee County had been spared, thank God, from this extremely dangerous storm as it steamed past us in the Gulf of Mexico towards the Florida Panhandle. And whereas on October 10th, 2018, there were reports that several counties in North Florida were receiving severe damage as the eye of the storm came ashore near Mexico Beach in Bay County and Gulf County around noon. And whereas the Manatee County Emergency Management Division, Emergency Medical Services Division, and Emergency Communications 911 Division, along with the fire districts of Manatee County, the fire departments of the City of Bradenton and Town of Longboat Key immediately responded to provide life-saving services to our neighbors to the north as part of the State Emergency Response Plan. And whereas these agencies and their dedicated personnel responded by providing a 911 telecommunicator emergency response team to Bay County, Florida, an ambulance strike team to Gulf County, Florida, an engine strike team to Marianna, Florida, an engine strike team to Gulf County, Florida, a tender strike team to Gulf County, and EOC staffing to Gulf County, Florida. And whereas the Manatee County Sheriff's Office and other elements of Manatee County government assisted the Florida Panhandle with personnel and equipment immediately following the landfall of Hurricane Michael. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Manatee County, Florida, that these personnel of Manatee County Emergency Management Division, Emergency Medical Services Division, and Emergency Communications 911 Division, along with the Cedar Hammock, East Manatee, North River, Southern Manatee, Parish, and West Manatee Fire Districts, the City of Bradenton, and the Town of Longboat Key Fire Departments, and the Manatee County Sheriff's Office are hereby recognized for their personal sacrifice and professional dedication to these missions and have earned the gratitude of the citizens of Manatee County. Adopted with a quorum present and voting this 27th day of November 2018, signed by our chairperson, Priscilla Trace. I would only like to add that the last couple of years we have truly had scares here in Manatee, and we've had damage last year. So it's just we are so blessed in this area, but at the same time, I hate knowing that part of our county, part of Florida is being damaged, and the people are losing their homes and lives. So that being said, it's a real honor to have all of you with us today. We thank you for your dedication, your service, and your humility in leaving your families to go help others. So thank you.
Our acting chief of emergency management would like, on behalf of all the folks standing behind me for the proclamation, we've been showing some pictures up on the monitors, so if we would like to go back to the cameras, we can. Good morning, commissioners, Mr. Administrator, Mr. County Attorney, all first responders, guests, and attendees. A special good morning to Commissioner Servia and Bellamy. I will try to keep my comments short because I know it's a very busy day. And if any of you would like further information or details on our deployment, please reach out to me at a later date. I will give a brief overview of Manatee County's response to Gulf and Bay counties for Hurricane Michael. Just alone, personnel from Manatee County were over 75 folks. At one time, I thought we annexed North Florida, because every time we turned around and looked, we saw someone else from up there. Thank you all for your thoughts, prayers, and support. I want to especially thank Director Smith for allowing me and supporting me during this deployment. I was deployed as a part of a 10-member incident management team from the west coast of Florida to Gulf County. Once there, we were divided into two teams, a support team and an emergency operation team, to assist in the incident management team from the state of Oregon and later a team from the Florida Forest Service. I assumed the role of lead public information officer for Gulf County for my first 11 days. And then I was the lead fire coordinator for Gulf County for my remaining 4 days. I will introduce the other teams that deployed in a moment, but I want to tell you the sights, smells, devastation, destruction, and human needs that we saw will never be forgotten. Manatee County will never be forgotten by Gulf County and Bay County. The missions, tasks, care, and compassion that we all saw and gave have friendships forever. Manatee County first responders are second to none. Several of us have planned personal trips before Christmas to take joy and happiness to the first responders of Gulf County. What I learned is and will be used in improvement for Manatee County's recovery process in the time that we need it. Now, I would like to introduce some of the leaders of the different teams. First, I would like to introduce the 911 dispatchers who responded to Bay County.
Good morning. My name is John Mercer, and
Good morning. My name is Mike Patrol.
we both are part of the Florida TERT team, and went up to Bay County, which is ground zero, and we essentially were there for a support role to let their dispatchers. There were 69 employees, 9 of which dispatchers lost homes from the sheriff's office, so we're there to support them. It's a humbling experience, as Steve said. I think any of us would do it again in a heartbeat. I've been doing this 31 years, and it even had me wondering too, but thank you for this recognition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Mike Patrol. I'm the captain with the ECC. My group from Pasco County and I got there the morning after the storm hit. So needless to say, there was a little bit of chaos, and it took us quite a while to get there because basically we were unable to get into Bay County. We had to drive in behind heavy equipment while they cleared the roads just for us to get into the county. Our basic role when we first got there, outside of just being telecommunicators, was critical incident stress management. We did our best to try to get their dispatchers some type of relief. There was nowhere for them to go, but we at least tried to get them out of the center. And while we were there, 3 of their dispatchers did leave, did not return. So our first couple of days were basically just trying to get them to realize that we were there to help. Dispatchers are kind of a rare breed. They don't like to give up anything. So it was a struggle when we showed up. They were, who are you guys? But they eventually started to trust us, and they got out of there. There were points where there were no dispatchers from Bay County at all. It was just us. So it was definitely a humbling experience, and nothing we ever want to see here, and we do appreciate the proclamation. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce Chief Bevan of the Bradenton Police Department. They responded to Panama City. Chief?
Good morning, Commissioners. This past summer, I had the opportunity to attend the Florida Police Chiefs Annual Conference in the seaside community of Panama City Beach, up in the Panhandle. As part of our conference, we always spend an hour discussing hurricane preparedness and response. Before I left, I looked to my 2 friends I've known for 20 years, went to school with one, Panama City Police Chief and Panama City Police Chief, Beach Police Chief, and said, if you ever need me, I'll be there for you. 2 days after the storm was the first call I got. And he said, you promised us something, and I want to know if you're ready to make good on that. And we did. Bradenton Police Department were one of the first police responders to arrive. He also actually said, hey, by the way, we also need a car if you can spare one. We were able to provide that as well. We sent 8 folks for a total of 3 weeks, lived and slept in conditions that I wouldn't wish on anybody. But I tell you that story to reemphasize to everybody that if something like that was to ever happen in this community, we would receive that same commitment and dedication from the first responders all across Florida. What they saw there was just an incredible display of folks, both fire, EMS, and police coming together to get the job done. My folks handled calls, they guarded stores, they did anything and everything that had to be done. And I can't thank them enough. But again, it shows the commitment of all the public safety folks throughout Florida and what they're willing to do for each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Now I'd like to introduce District Chief Mark Regis of EMS, who led us ambulance strike team to Gulf County, along with a contingency from Collier County. Mark?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this morning. I am District Chief in Manatee County, so I have a leadership role here, and I assumed a leadership role on an ambulance strike team, and my folks are behind me. We were a mixed team with 3 ambulances from Manatee County, 2 ambulances from Collier County, and support pickup truck and supervisor vehicle. Within 24 hours of the storm landfall, we were in Gulf County. We were truly the first in, outside help. We utilized local farmers, law enforcement, many other members of the community, literally to cut our way in to the county. They were very humbled, a little resistant. Public safety, we are a little resistant to outside help. But ultimately, we assumed all 911 ambulance functions for Gulf County. We handled interfacility transfers. We had a DMAT team that we oversaw, and we were also part of running a shelter. I would be not here or have done as well for the Gulf County community if it wasn't for the members of my team behind me. They were amazing. They brought the Manatee County brand, the Manatee County ACE philosophy, care, compassion, and commitment to this community like I've never seen. They did things that I would never ask a paramedic locally to do. They were truly, truly amazing, and you should be proud of them. And I just want to make sure that they know how thankful I am. And for all of you, I'm very grateful that you allow Manatee County to show support to another Gulf County community in Florida, and I really do appreciate that. And the experience and opportunity that I took away and I bring back to our community in case we're ever faced with something like this is paramount. It really, truly is. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Now I'd like to introduce Administrative Battalion Chief Ben Rigney of the West Manatee Fire Department, who led a engine strike team and a tanker tender strike team to Gulf County. Ben?
Morning.
Good morning. I want to first thank the entire Board of Commissioners for recognizing all of us here today. As Chief said, my name is Ben Rigney. I'm the Battalion Chief for West Manatee Fire and Rescue. I had the honor of leading the Engine Strike Team 601 for this deployment. In total, our group consisted of 28 members, which was firefighters from all of Manatee County, including Cedar Hammock, East Manatee, Southern Manatee, North River, the town of Longboat Key, West Manatee, and the city of Bradenton. Our deployment mission began on October 10th and ended on October 25th. Initially, we were sent to the city of Marianna, which is in Jackson County, in which we were the first resources to arrive. Our assignment in the city was to clear a path for the residents and for emergency vehicles, along with running all of the fire and medical calls in the city. After we completed that, we ensured wellness checks. We went and knocked on every door to see if the residents there needed any assistance or had any issues. After being there for about 3 days in the city of Marianna, we were reassigned to Gulf County, where we joined others from Manatee County. Being the first engine strike team to enter Gulf County, our assignment was to assist all of the volunteer fire departments with fire and medical calls. Up there consisted only of volunteer departments, so we went in there and assisted all of that. When the crews were not running calls, they were assisting with debris removal, tarping, wellness checks, and handing out supplies to those in need. Prior to leaving Gulf County, I assigned all the crew members to drive through Port St. Joe Beach along with Mexico Beach so that they can better prepare for if a disaster were to happen in Manatee County. It was comforting to arrive in Gulf County and to see many familiar faces, and I'm very proud of how all the strike teams and crews represented Manatee County. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Now I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Rick Reitz of the Sheriff's Office, who led a contingency from Manatee County Sheriff's Office to Bay County. Rick.
Good morning. I'd like to thank you all for your support and acknowledgement of the efforts that the team that I had the privilege to lead did. We were a team of 18 personnel set up there to provide not only manpower relief, but humanitarian relief as well. One of our truck drivers made several trips from Gulf County back to Manatee County over 3 days, delivering 2 semi-trucks full of relief items. The personnel that I'm here with performed beyond expectation. It was a privilege to be able to go up there and lead them because it wasn't me, it was all of them. Some of the efforts included just routine patrol. We were assigned to a strike team in the city of Springfield for the latter half of our deployment, during which time, we were on just routine patrol, handling calls for service. And at one point in time, 3 of the members of the team, they're not here today, they're being recognized by the sheriff for some of their efforts up there, but they were actually able to save a young child's life. So that's pretty much what it's all about. It's going up there to help others selflessly, and the men and women that I had the privilege to lead did just that. Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you, Rick. And finally, I'd like to introduce Jody Fisk, our regional coordinator from the Florida Department of Emergency Management, who responded to the State Emergency Operations Center and throughout the Panhandle. She was an excellent contact and resource for all of us. Jody?
Good morning. As Steve said, my name is Jody Fisk, and I am the regional liaison with the Florida Division of Emergency Management, and I cover the 10 counties here in Region 6. I actually spent 26 days in the Panhandle as a member of the State Emergency Response Team, which is also referred to as CERT, with an S, not with a C. Clearly, Manatee County is an invaluable partner to the Florida CERT team, and they obviously were ready to answer the call when disaster struck. The CERT team's actions during Hurricane Michael have been nationally recognized as a positive example of response. And on behalf of the Florida Division of Emergency Management, I'm standing here today in recognition of the contributions made by Manatee County. And I hesitate to say I welcome the next opportunity to work together, but the division absolutely knows who to call when they need them. So thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. In conclusion, again, I would like to thank each of you, and again, especially Director Smith, for allowing us the opportunity to go up there. Not only, as you saw, we did humanitarian, life-saving, and so forth, but what I can tell you from emergency management, we learned so many lessons and so much information that we couldn't have gone to school years and years to learn, and that will make Manatee County better off. The other thing I'd like to say in concluding is that, as you see, it doesn't matter what discipline, fire, law enforcement, emergency management, what color uniform we wear, what agency we're with, we truly are here representing Manatee County. I think you all should be very proud of that, and I know I am. So in conclusion, again, I thank you for everybody for your support. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve. Good job. Steve?
Yeah, just, quickly, Steve and the rest of the group, you've made Manatee County proud of you all, but maybe more importantly, you've made humanity proud of you all, for what you've done, and you're indispensable, and thank you all very much for everything you've done.
Thank you, Commissioner.
We can't say enough, and we're proud of you, and thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.